Hi, it's Terry Gaines. I'm going to give you some assembly tips on creating this fun fold card. I used some product in the 2019 Stampin' Up! Holiday catalog. I used the designer series paper called Wrapped in Plaid. It's 6x6 specialty paper. You get 12 different double-sided designs, 4 of each sheet. So you will receive 48 sheets of the different cardstock. And one side has that beautiful gold foil stripe in it. So beautiful paper. I also used the new Moose Punch from the holiday catalog and its coordinating stamp set. I used the tree stamp in the coordinating stamp set. You can purchase these bundled together to save 10%, which is an awesome savings. And then the happy birthday sentiment I used is from Here's a Card in the annual catalog. So to start out for this card, we need a postcard size shaded spruce. That would be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and layered on top of that is a knighted navy that's cut down 1/4 inch, so it's 4 by 5 1/4. I ran this through the subtle folder. I love the 3D Stampin' Up! Subtle folder. It gives a textured look to your cardstock. So I ran that through the embossing folder, and I'm going to use the snail adhesive to apply my adhesive to this and layered on top of the shaded spruce postcard. I watch the opposite corners to get equal spacing. So I'm watching this corner and this corner for equal spacing, and then I can apply the 2 layers together. The next part of the assembly is placing the shaded spruce onto this postcard. This shaded spruce cardstock is cut at 2 3/4 by 4. The Whisper White is cut at 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. So I'm going to layer the Whisper White first. I actually like to stamp my inside sentiments and images prior to layering onto the card. Our cardstock has 2 sides, so if I goof up on one side or mess up, I can always turn it over and stamp the other side. So now I'm going to put the adhesive on the back of this shaded spruce, and again I'm going to watch opposite corners and look for equal spacing on all 4 sides before I place that into its location. The next piece of cardstock that goes onto this card is 2 1/4 by 8 1/2. It is scored at 4 1/4. And this is going to be applied to the back of the card. And it is going to be to the left side, and it is going to cover up the shaded spruce layer. So it can be applied anywhere in that vicinity as long as it covers up that shaded spruce. I'm going to adhere it with the Stampin' Up! Snail adhesive. And I'm going to just set it, rest it right on the fold, place it over here to cover up that edge as I mentioned. The next layer is a 2 by 4 designer series paper, and this is going to be adhered onto the front of that panel. Again, I'll use the Stampin' Up! Snail adhesive, and now I'm going to watch that my designer series paper, boy, tongue-tied. My videos are unedited. They will contain bloopers. I don't know that I've created one error-free yet, but just so you know that. The edge here, I'm going to line up to the edge of the designer series paper. And while I do that, I'm also going to look for equal spacing here and here. And that will allow me to get that aligned like so. The next parts to this card are 3 pieces of cardstock, 1 gold foil and 2 Knight of Navy. The Knight of Navies are cut at, this one is cut at 2 by 2 1/2, or this one is 3 by 2 1/2, and this one is cut 2 by 2 1/2. And the gold foil is the layer in the middle. Because it gets sandwiched in the middle, nobody's going to see that the moose is punched out of there. That's the best thing to do for your specialty papers, is to maximize them by removing the pieces that get sandwiched in, or pieces there. So this gold foil is cut at 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. And it is actually kind of hard to get this piece into the punch. And these punches, this punch will work out great, but what I'm going to advise you to do is take a big Post-it note and put it on the edge of the foil paper. And I kind of try to go about equal spacing there. And I need to punch this mousse out right in the center. So what I'm going to do is I watch this edge, is kind of visually see that I have about equal spacing from the bottom of the feet to the bottom of the cardstock, and from the top of the mousse to the edge of the, the top of the mousse punch to the top of the paper. And as I do that, then I'm going to just slide that over. And now the Post-it note is about the same width as the punch. Once I slide that over, I can punch out the mousse and attempt to get it in the center. I've got a little bit of a little high maybe on this piece. So let's see. Actually, it would work out perfect. So I was good on that one. You've got lots of leadway on that. So what I'm going to do is now layer these three together. And always start with the smallest one first. So I'm going to take the, oh boy, I'm going to take the smallest Night of Navy that I also ran through the subtle folder. I'm going to watch opposite corners and place this, I let go of it too early, place that down. Then put adhesive on the back of the gold foil, layered, and then on the next Night of Navy. All these dimensions will be on my blog post. Now to apply these to this panel, what I'm going to do is apply adhesive on, apply adhesive on this edge of my top layer and this end of the panel. As long as I keep my adhesive within this area here, I'm good. And now I can watch the top and the two sides to get equal spacing here. And now I have that layered on just where I want it to be. For the mousse that's punched out, I went ahead and attached mini dimensionals to this. They work perfect for this. You can take your pick tool and take off the backings, but the mini dimensionals work great because they fit into the little areas of that mousse punch. Now take that and attach this to the front of the card, and we have our fun fold card made with the wrapped in plaid. As I mentioned, look in the comments section and you will find a direct link to my blog post where you'll find the supply list, measurements, and instructions for this project. There'll be a PDF tutorial you can download and a direct link to my Stampin' Up! Store to purchase the supplies. I would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the red box underneath the video. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed creating this project with me.